What's going on, guys? I'm gonna raise that up a little bit so you can see me. So this is the first time we've ever went live doing some work on a bike. Man, this is unscripted, no editing. So whatever goof ups you see today is what you see today. So we've got a lot of work going on. We've had this bike in here quite a few times. As you can see, it's got the Advanblack stretch side covers, the bags, the lids. We put on a new set of lowers yesterday. This is getting an entire audio upgrade, so the amps are coming out, speakers are coming out. We did a tour pack upgrade on the hardware, just changed it to black. But we have a wrap front fender going on, a new tank dash because this one got pretty scratched up and banged up. What else? New tank dash, like I said, tank dash, the tank cover, and a new wrap front fender. So just thought it'd be pretty cool to go live. Like I said, I've never done this before, so we're just gonna keep the phone rolling and we're gonna crank up some music and just do some work. If you guys have any questions, try to feel like see if I can got comments coming up here on the left hand side. So that's pretty cool. Donald, morning. All you guys commenting, that's cool, man. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I don't know what we're going to be doing for this Sunday's video. I know we didn't have a Sunday video for the last 2 weeks. We had Easter, and that whole week was kind of a nightmare. And then I'm also kind of still dealing with the Softail project, the rear wheel from DNA. They sent us the rear wheel back the second time, and it was actually worse than the first time. So we actually sent the entire wheel back again and told them to just remake us a brand new wheel. And they are. And I got a shipping label yesterday for it, so hopefully we'll get that this week. I'm not going to do another video on the install, of course, because we've already done one on that. I just want to get the thing on there so I can finish the other stuff that I've got going on with that Softail project. It's just been kind of put off on the back burner just because I've been a little bit ticked off about the whole wheel thing. So we still have the handlebars, the cables. What else? We're going to be doing fishtail exhaust on that, which we already have. We already have all of the handlebars and cables and perches. We're going to be changing everything over to chrome. So that'll be a cool video. And then probably go on to doing air ride. We're going to do air ride on that bike, and also a center stand from AF Customs. Not quite sure what we're going to do after that. As far as the Advanblack stuff we got going, we got some new products coming out. I'll be showing you guys a new lithium battery that's going to be coming out. We're just kind of tinkering with that a little bit right now. You know what else we have going on? This monstrosity, let me pull this over here for you. This thing, Sportster S. So we bought that, and not a lot we can do with that right now. Advanblack's going to be messing around with some different parts for that bike. I will tell you this, never thought in my entire life that I would say I went and bought a brand new Sportster. Kind of a big guy for riding a Sportster, but I took that thing out a couple of weeks ago, and I'm gonna tell you right now, that thing got my attention. So a lot more horsepower than these baggers and half the weight. So if you ever get a chance to ride one of those, just ride it. It's fun. I'm not telling you to go out and buy one because they want a lot of money for it, and it's still, at the end of the day, it's still a Sportster. But I think I will be throwing that on the lift and kind of pick it apart. let you guys know my thoughts on that if you even care about it. I don't know, but it's a new design from Harley. It's not new technology on the motor, but it is new technology to Harley Davidson. So they still got some kinks and stuff that they need to work out on this bike. This bike alone right here has been back in the shop. We've had it 3 or 4 months, and it's been back in the shop 3 times already. So that tells you right there. There's kinks and stuff that need to be worked out. And the price that they're charging $16,000 to $18,000 for a Sportster S, and it's a lot of plastic. It's a lot of sloppy, just not impressed parts. Like, I can just rattle all these parts with my hand, and for that kind of money, I was not impressed with it. So we'll do a whole video on that thing in due time. But right now, it's just sitting there collecting dust. The road glide, we don't have much going on that. The street glide, not really much on that either. There's not a whole lot left to do on that. But today we're just going to be, like I said, just putting some new parts on this bike. I don't know if I'll live stream the whole time as far as the audio install goes, because all of this stuff has to be ripped out. Like I said, I've already put new lowers on here, taking the old speakers out. We got new speakers going back here. If you guys watched videos in the past on me, a couple of years ago, we were really pushing the DS18 speakers, and a lot of the newer DS18 stuff's not fitting anymore just because they changed the baskets on the back. They're just thicker, bigger baskets that say DS18 on them. They're just really hard to get them to fit in the pods and in the speaker lids. So we'll be replacing all this with PRV stuff, same stuff we have in the Road Glide build, which is those PRV speakers are amazing. And of course, a couple of new amps to go along with it. But this morning, like I said, I didn't have a whole lot going on. I'm just going to shut the hell up and actually just get to work on this. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to work a little bit and then turn around and try to check comments and stuff. But if you have any questions, just, let me know. That's the kind of stuff we edit out when we're doing our install videos. You don't see that right there. That's the good stuff. Good night. Whoever put that fender on there did not want that thing coming off. And it's not even any Loctite on it, it's just rust. So it's only showing the comments on here for a hot second. So if you guys have commented anything and I missed it, man, just have to try to do it again. Like I said, I'm not any genius on this YouTube live chat stuff. I've got it on all messages are visible. And we lost you for a second. So on Michael's question about the lithium battery working in the cold, that was one of the biggest things that we were kind of messing with the batteries. On lithium batteries is a common problem with lithium batteries not working in the cold. And that's kind of true to an extent, but we're talking extreme cold here. We're not talking, 30, 20 degrees. We're talking continuous cold for temperatures of 10 or minus 10. So man, if you're riding your bike and it's 10 or minus 10 degrees, kudos for you. I wouldn't buy a lithium battery. Outside of that, yes, the lithium batteries work great. I actually tested our lithium battery several different ways. I've had it for a couple of months. We did just bench testing, of course, just letting it ride out. We've got the new one in the other day that's actually got the Advanblack logo and stuff like that on it. So that's just something that we're kind of tinkering with right now. I did actually stick it in my refrigerator overnight, stuck it in the bike, started it, did it again, stuck it in the freezer overnight. And what I found with sticking it in the freezer was just like the Harley Davidson lithium battery. When you first cycle the bike on, it might be a little bit difficult to start. Now we're talking freezing temperatures. That in there is 0 degrees. So doing that, what I was told to do, that if you have that issue with a lithium battery and it's super cold and you can't get it to start, and you need to get it to start for some reason, is to cycle the bike on and off a few times. Let the power or the stuff on the bike that's consuming power go ahead and draw on that battery a little bit, a couple of times, and it kind of gets those lithium cells working, and then the bike fired right up. So all I really did was just kick the bike on and off 2 or 3 times, hit the high beams, whatever I could get to work, and then started the bike. So, but like I said, that's sub-freezing temperatures. So outside of sub-freezing temperatures with a lithium-ion battery, yes, they cost more, but they last forever. And seriously, these things, like, it's the size of a full battery, but it literally weighs like a pound. Like, you can toss it around the shop to your buddies and stuff, kind of freak them out. So let me try to see if I can pull this last comment up. I don't know why it's not showing me all the comments. Yeah, the motorcycle lift. Yeah, let me see if I can get that down there. Just kind of have this on a tripod out here. Can't remember the brand. Titan lift, I think. 1,250 pound Titan lift. I don't know. We've had this lift forever. Haven't done anything to it except, do regular lift maintenance on it. And it's worked really good for us. We do have a couple of motorcycle jacks too. I'll use those every now and again, but the lifts, for me, I've been doing this a long time. The lift kind of goes with this Milwaukee M12 right here, which I get a ton of questions on. Like, I use this in almost every video. Almost everything I do on these bikes, I grab this thing. I think for $200, I got the ratchet, the battery, and the battery charger. And this thing has been a lifesaver. And I get comments too, on the flip side of that. Guys want to know what it is because they want to get one. Or, people say, well, people really like using power tools, can't use the rest anymore. Well, when you've been doing it as long as I have and your hands hurt and that's just a lifesaver to me. It's well worth the $200. When you're out here wrenching all day long, any mechanic will tell you, it's wear and tear on you over time, man. So, like, this little thing has saved me a lot of time and hurt in my hands. And the same as with the lift table. A lot of the stuff that you do at home, you don't have to have a lift table. Of course, you can just get a jack, but lift tables come in super handy for my back. I'm not bent over on my hands and knees all day working on bikes anymore. I can bring it up to where I need to and just stand here and work on the bike. But you're not working on your bike all the time. I mean, a good lift table, it's a good investment, but it's just that, it's an investment. You know, you're talking $1,200 to $1,500 for a decent one, compared to a $150 or $200 jack. That'll get you just as far. But yeah, I don't know, I like it. Is there any other questions before I actually get back to work on this thing? It's not the what's your preference on tires? I don't know, Matt, Luke, if you're still here, your preference on tires for street glide with a 21 and 18. My preference right now on tires is any tire you can get, because tires are getting extremely hard to find. I was told like probably 7 months ago from I got a really good friend that works at Harley, and they got messages from a lot of different people saying, you know, if you need tires, if you're going to need tires for the year, you better order them right now, because the production on the tires went way down. I just did that same deal with my truck. I got a 2017 Ram 2500 with 22s on it, and they're 14-inch wide 22s, and it took 2 months to find tires for it, and then I kind of just had to settle for some grabbers instead of the Nitos that I wanted. So same thing's going on with the motorcycle tires right now. So preference, I would say, I don't know, man. Like, I've ran Michelin's, I've ran Dunlops. I've had good, I don't know, just any of the big name brands, the Michelin, the Dunlop, the ones that always come up. I've had a good experience with all of them. I haven't had one that's wore out faster than the other. You know, on the street glide and the road glide, we're actually running Avons on those because of the fat tire. And then the 21, I've got an Avon on it, and it's been on there for 3 years. I think I've got a Michelin Commander, I think, on the back. But watch, I made a mistake a couple of years ago of finding a cheap, you know, I forget what brand it is that Harley uses. What is, I'm sure this guy's, the Dunlops, maybe. They say Harley Davidson on the side of them. I forgot what brand they use, but at the side of the tire says Harley Davidson. And you can find that same tire on Amazon, eBay, and I think Tire Rack, maybe they used to, I don't know if they still do, but those tires, they've been sitting around for a long time, and you need to check the manufacturer's date when you get the tire. So if you buy a tire off of Amazon, which is what I did, and because it was a lot cheaper, it just didn't say Harley Davidson on the side. It was the same exact tire, and I got it, and the manufacturer did. The tire was already like 3 years old when I got it, so I was kind of, you save a little bit of money, but you're getting a tire that's been sitting around for a long time. So just watch that. But outside of that, man, like the Michelin Commanders, the Dunlops, those are really good tires. I've had really good luck with the Avons. I had, trying to think of the other company, Metzler. I had a Metzler that was sent on the SMT machining 21 that we did for the street glide, and that thing was warped to the point that I had a handlebar wheel wobble right out of the box, and they mounted it and everything and sent it to me. I put it on a bike, and I had a really bad wheel wobble, but it was a warped tire, so we replaced it with an Avon, and it fixed it. So my biggest deal right now is just be careful getting tires, because they're getting very, very limited, and you can't be as choosy as you could 2 years ago or a year ago. So just be careful buying them off of, you know, cheap tire websites or like Amazon and eBay and stuff, because you don't know how long. They're not going to tell you on Amazon the manufacturing date on that tire. You're not going to see it until you get it in the mail. So, but just be careful with that. But any of the big brand name tires I've had really good luck with. I see it in the forums all the time. And if you guys follow me on YouTube and follow me on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff, you'll see that I don't get in the other bagger forums too much. It's kind of why we created the Sick Bagger Facebook group. I used to get into the bagger forums quite a bit, but you know, my blood pressure, I can't take it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you get a lot of people that just want to argue and just they try to justify their expensive purchase, even though they know it was a shit purchase. They'll do everything they can to justify why they did it and how great it is and how crappy every other product is. So I don't even get in those forums anymore, man. Every now and again I'll post something if somebody needs some help, but you know, if you guys aren't in our Sig Bagger Facebook group and you want to find a good group where it's just not full of a-holes and smartasses, and come on over to our group and check it out, because I stay on top of that best I can. Everybody likes a good joke every now and again, but come on, you know, when somebody asks questions, either help them or, you know, push on to another forum too. Let me see what questions we got here. Got a lot of bad info, yeah, Sean. Yeah, they're full of it. Yeah, there's a lot of cool people in the forums. I mean, I've met several what ended up being really good friends, you know, through the forums over the last years, but there's just too much misinformation in there, and I just, like I said, it's not worth my time arguing with them. And I mean, hell, we all, none of us were born with this knowledge. We all grow, and man, I try to learn something new every day. If I can learn something brand new about this bike or that bike or that bike, if I can learn one thing new every day, that just makes me a better person. But getting that information from forums can be pretty dangerous. So take that information with a grain of salt 80% of the time. Now, there's a few guys in there that know their shit and, you know, will help people, but you know, I can't deal with all the smart asses, I guess. What we got here? Have any fraying issues with the serial fork lights? No, haven't had any fraying issues. I had a bike in here that I did the turn signal lights that go on the bottom of the batwing fairing gear, and they were frayed, but come to find out that it was a mouse. A mouse had got in there, because once I got in there, I could see the frayed lines from down here up through here, and then when I pulled the outer fairing off and got in there, it was just a mouse that got in the inner fairing over the winter and chewed the lines up. So one of my big tips, if you have a street glide, road glide's not so bad, but winterizing your bike, stuff this area right here, stuff it full of towels, whatever you can get in there, just cram it, because mice get in here, they build nests, they chew on all your wires, and if they chew on your main harness wire, you're in big trouble. You're gonna have a bad day. So your wallet's gonna have a bad day too. That wire harness is expensive. Replaced a few of them because of rats. Forks are catching the wires. Forks are catching the wires. So it's just too much. It's too tight. I don't know what you mean by it's catching. Bracket to mount the rear fender. Oh. I don't know why the messages keep disappearing and I gotta keep clicking my phone. I'm sorry. Any chance you could recommend a way to make a bracket to mount the rear fender insert? On electric light. So I'm assuming, who was it that asked? Titus. I'm assuming that you mean the rear fender extension on a electric light. So the Road King and the Ultras, they don't have the fender extension on the back, and you can't add it because the fender is exactly the same. So when they start building these bikes, all of the main rear fenders are all exactly the same, 09 and newer, I should say. And then they just change the bolt, patterns that they drill into these fenders. So mounting a fender extension on the back of a bike that doesn't have a fender extension is very easy to do, and I already have a video on that on our YouTube channel. I actually did it on a Road King, but it's the same thing for an Ultra. And you can purchase the Harley Davidson brackets that go in there. It's just a piece of metal with 3 bolts welded to it. With that way, you have to be very specific about where you drill the holes and make sure that it's correct. But you don't have to use those. I mean, I think they're only like 12 bucks, so you can use them, but you don't have to. Just putting that plate in, like I said, you have to make sure that those holes are drilled exactly for that plate to set in those holes. If you just mock up your fender extension, do like I did in the video, just put painter's tape on it, and you can move it, get it exactly where you want it, drill the holes, and then just put 1/4 bolts through there with you got 2 choices on washers. You can do a flat washer with a nylock nut, or you can do a split washer with a regular nut. Either way, but you want to lock that down. Once you do that, that's now installed on your bike, just like a street glide or a road glide. Let's see. Adam, I don't think you're too tight. Yeah, post it on the Facebook group, man. We'll give it a look at. Plus, I was really cool friends. I was kind of disappointed to hear that the main tech at Ciro left. He took another job or moved or something like that. And we became really good friends over the last few years. And super great guy, always really helpful anytime I called him or anybody else called him. And I found out that he left right before Daytona, so I was kind of a little bummed about that. Was looking forward to going down and meeting him again, but we got down there, and there's a new guy. Of course, they hired a new guy, just as cool. Super cool guy. I think he may have worked for Kuryakin for a long time and is now over at Ciro. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's where he came from, or got his background anyway. But anyway, super cool guy there too. So if you post it in the forum and even we can't figure it out, we can call him and he'll get us lined out either way on any Ciro stuff. That's one of the cool things I like, working for that company, man. We don't have a cam install right now, but we'll have one soon. I just had a guy come over, one of my buddies come over the other day and asked me to do a cam install on his bike, so we will be doing a cam install. Yeah, William, dog food inside. Yep, inside the fairing. That's, yep, mice and stuff have drugged that in, so that's what I was saying, man. Stuff that stuff. Change rear fender. TSM, no security, but turn signals, flashlight, sleep times, not turn ignition on, stat. Gilbert, I may have missed some of your other comments. Hit us over on the Facebook group with that one. That seems a little bit more complicated than what I could probably answer here. Post whatever your question is, Gilbert, over on the Facebook group if you're in our group. Scott, you got the garage door opener, cool. Yeah, I love that thing. Yeah, that guy was super cool to work with. The Rogers Unlimited garage door opener. We got him for both the bikes, and like I said, we've had this shop for 7 years. I've never had a garage door opener in there because I just didn't care. Just open up the garage. But when I updated the door, I thought, what the hell, 150 bucks, I'll get a garage door opener. And then I was still kind of too many alerts on my phone. Still kind of in the same boat with having to carry around a goofy garage door opener. So I actually found him and ended up being a really cool dude. So, but the garage door openers have been great. Getting a sidecar built for my 18, man, that would be so cool. Yeah, definitely. We can, like, I'll tell you what. So the sidecar thing is just that's just super cool to me. I've never built one, and I would love to build one just for the hell of it. But we were at where were we at? SEMA in Vegas a couple of years ago, and there was a bike there. I don't know if you've seen this. You can look it up. You can probably Google it and still find pictures of it. But it was the Dracula themed. I believe it was a street glide with a sidecar, and that thing was sick. We ended up meeting the owner, super cool guy. He had this huge, like 18 wheel trailer just made for this bike that had the Dracula stuff all down the side of it. But man, he was actually sponsored by Power Base, I think it was, which I thought was an odd choice to go with. But when you're building something, you know, when you're getting sponsors, sometimes you got to go with what you can get, you know. So, but needless to say, they had this bike thumping, and the whole sidecar thing was just insane, full of speakers, but still a usable sidecar, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, definitely hit me up anytime you want to chat about that. All right, Sean, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it, dude. Lexington in the house, want for him. Any word about Advanblack bringing out outer fairings? Interfering, let's get questionable eBay replacement on mine. So on the outer fairing, let me touch on that just a little bit because I do get a few questions about outer fairings because we do a color matched inner fairing, but we don't do an outer fairing. We don't do one for the street glide or the road glide. And here is kind of the reason why. Uh, the only people I'm going to guess that are going to be changing an outer fairing to the exact outer fairing that's on their bike. Now, let me. So there's a lot of outer fairings for street glides and road glides that are very customized. They don't look exactly the same as the OEM. So those, of course, people would scrap the OEM one and get this one. The only people I foresee changing an outer fairing is because they've received some damage. They've dropped the bike, they've hit something, something scratched it really bad, or whatever the case may be. But you're taking an OEM fairing and replacing it with an OEM fairing, and there's just not that many people, and that need that or would want that. Maybe you're doing a color tint swap. Maybe you're just changing the color of the entire of the bike, and you need that outer fairing, of course, color match. So the problem with that is these molds for us, like when it comes to, let's say, the lowers, you're a better example. Saddlebags just two pieces. So those molds for the ABS are very expensive. So let's just throw a number out there, like 20 grand. Okay, so if it costs us $20,000 to make a mold for a set of saddlebags, or 20 grand for, I'm just making up numbers, 20,000 for a mold for the outer fairing, we're going to have to sell a lot of outer fairings just to recoup our money for the mold before the company even starts seeing any kind of profit. So it's just not a good business decision for them to invest in that kind of mold. And I hope that makes sense. Like I said, I do get a few people, but I think the easiest thing to do is what I tell customers when they call me is just try to find one on eBay, try to find an OEM one off of a wrecked bike, and of course, unless you can find the exact color, you'll have to have it painted. But that's about my best advice when it comes to outer fairings and replacing those. North End, Michigan. Yeah, so we're in Southern Illinois, man. So we're here all the time. Anytime you guys want to get up with us, let us know if you're down in this area. You know, hit us on the Facebook group or hit my personal Facebook page. My personal Facebook page has kind of turned into another bagger page, really. So, yeah. So, man, I can't keep these comments up on the screen for some reason. So Adam, yeah. So I hope that kind of answered that question on the outer fairing. So that's pretty much only one of the parts that we don't do on the bike. Scott got Legends. I've installed a lot of Legends. I've never owned any. I've installed quite a few, and I heard they're great. Michael said censorship, really. I don't know what that means, Mike. Unless you're replying to a comment that I missed, I have no idea. Back to, I think, Gunsmoke 357. Are you going to go with shotgun shocks? So we were talking about the Softail earlier and doing air ride on that. And there's only a few companies out there that do air ride for the Softails, and we'll be doing an air ride with center stand on that. There was two, Platinum and Shotgun, that originally came up for air ride for a Softail. And so what happened that made my decision for me was, and this is what I talk about in some of my videos, like if you've just bought your first bagger or your first Softail and you're starting to do upgrades, and I said it, I think, in the Road Glide build video, get a plan ahead of time. Because what's going to happen is you're excited, you got the bike. We've all been there. I mean, I'm not knocking it. I did it, and I just want everybody to learn from my mistakes. And I see a lot of other guys doing it too. You get a bike and you see a cool part and you put it on there, and then you see this cool part and you put it on there, and you just keep going. And then at the end, you're just like, you got this mess going on. Nothing really matches anything. Nothing flows together. Every piece that you change, every little cover that you change is different. Some are contrast cut, some are chrome. And I know the biggest thing, because I hear it all the time, and even I personally did it with the Street Glide. When you get the bike, you've got a lot of chrome and you've got a lot of black on the bike, so you've got this mix. And it's cool to buy some black pieces, some chrome pieces, or go with the contrast cut. Me personally, my own opinion, I don't like contrast cut stuff. I just never have. I've seen a lot of cool bikes with it. It's just not something that I would do. So what I did is I had to get a plan. Like with the Road Glide, black it out. Street Glide, chromed it out. But I got a plan for each chrome piece. Everything kind of matched or sort of went together. Same thing with the Softail. Getting back to the shocks, I planned ahead, and I knew that I wanted to do. Softails don't have a fast up system. They just it's just a regular air ride. But I saw a teardrop, the old toolbox tank that goes on the Softails, that they've converted that to an air tank. So I contacted that guy, and he said, yeah, you can do it, but you can only use Platinum air shock. So see me getting that plan. If I would have got the shotgun shocks, and then I wanted to do the fast up on this, you can't do it. So that changed my going from shotgun over to Platinum. I haven't even contacted Platinum yet to see if they even want to work with us. But for me, doing the fast up teardrop toolbox thing, got to go with the other company. So thank you, Trike. Appreciate it. Seats for the Freewheeler. So, man, the seats, the seats are a hard question. And I get that a lot. And you see it in the forums a lot too. So a seat is one of the things on a bike that it's just a personal thing. I'm going to put the seat in the same category that I would put a windscreen in. Just because, nobody's ass is made the same. That's kind of what it basically boils down to. I can say that my seat is the best seat, and then you can get on it and be like, this thing rides like shit. So, there's any of the big companies out there, those are the ones I would go with. Mustang, you know what I mean? Like those type of companies. I tend to stay away from the Amazon, eBay ones. We do have some on Advanblack, which I was excited about doing those, but we added gel and stuff to them. It's still stock seat pan. But I can't just be like, this is going to be the perfect seat for you. Just like I can't tell you that that's going to be the perfect windscreen. And there's one other item that I would actually put in that same exact category, and that is slip-ons. I see that comment every day on Facebook. What's the best slip-ons? Listen, there is no best slip-ons. Slip-ons do jack for your bike. They make it sound different. And if any of them are advertising it, 5 horsepower gain, you're never going to feel 5 horsepower in that seat right there. You're not going to put slip-ons on your bike and be like, oh, this bike's faster. Nope. It just sounds different. So slip-ons is a personal thing too. Now, if you're doing slip-ons, headers, open air cleaner, all that stuff, now that's another story. But if you're just changing your slip-ons, you need to find a slip-on that you like the looks of and you like the sound of. That's it. They're all the same. So that's all it boils down to. Same with the seat. You've got to find one. I have a harder time with a seat because I want a seat that looks good, but I don't want a big bulky seat, but I still want it to ride good. So that's where I get torn. That seat thing's a give and take. Because I've got a CVO seat that I paid a lot of money for on a road glide that's not a CVO, and that thing looks amazing. I'll be honest with you, that seat sucks. That seat's rough. That's rough on my old back. Corbin and Saddleman, both excellent companies. So, and reason why I say that is because they've been around for a long time, and they've got a good warranty on them too. So, that's what I mean. You're just going to have to find one that fits you personally. And another thing that kind of sucks about a seat is you got to break one in, and you got to find a company that's willing to, I guess, kind of let you break it in and then be like, no, I don't really like this seat. I want to do something with it, because a lot of them are just like, nah, man, you bought it. That's your seat. So you're going to have to sell it on Facebook Marketplace or something and try to recoup some of your money. That's the crappy part about seats. Front porch suspension. There's a lot of good ones. I mean, we do Progressive. I'll be honest with you. Those are the ones that I go to all the time. But I've installed other ones, and they're just as good. I mean, we did Progressives on both the Street Glide and the Road Glide. We did Progressives on this bike too, so a couple of years ago. So that's getting into the suspension thing again. That's another one of those deals that's just all over Facebook, that just people all the time. What's the best suspension? Well, that's another kind of personal preference too. They all ride, I think. I mean, when you're talking about the different price points of suspension, wherever you're at, and you compare those to other companies, like say, you don't want the cheapest, but you don't want the most expensive. That seems to be a fair bet. All of those companies making those in that price range all kind of handle and ride the same, and they all definitely install the same. So that's just how much money you want to spend. Oh, a 20 Freewheeler. Yeah. So there's not a lot of seat. That's what kind of stinks about the Freewheeler. There's not a ton of seats on the market for the Freewheeler. I would definitely check out those two companies, though. I mean, I would stick with one of those for sure. I know that the Freewheeler that we get in here to work on every now and again, I'm assuming that's the one you're talking about. It's one of my buddies' Freewheelers, and we did the audio upgrade and actually put a fairing and stuff on it. So, and that was the first time that I really got to tear into a Freewheeler and work on it. So. Noticed right off the bat, of course, that the seat was just a monster. The thing was huge. The back passenger pavilion was just ginormous. Because I mean, honestly, before I had it in here, I would have just assumed that it was a touring seat, just the same seat, but it's definitely not. Trying to scroll back, see if I missed anything. I'm supposed to be working. supposed to be working on this bike. Sorry, I thought somebody was here. So I'll give you, so you guys generally see this half of the shop. Oop, there we go. In the videos, and I'm usually pointing at stuff like, oh, that's a big pile of parts over there, and parts over there, and so we'll just kind of pan the camera around. I'll let you guys see like actually what we're working with on a daily basis here, and trying to walk around. So this is a little bit of like just my work area, where if I'm not over here working, I'm over there. But the parts, that is this ginormous pile of parts, and of course the soft tail with the back wheel that's got me ticked off right now. And then here having the Advanblack stuff. That's, you know, like I said, it's still me, just on a different channel. So on the Advanblack channel. So we just basically turn our cameras around and point that way when we're doing the Advanblack stuff, and the other way when we're doing the sikbaggers stuff. But the Street Glide, the Sportster, the Road Glide, and then of course over here I've got to have my brake. I've been playing the drums since I was like 7 years old, and this is the only thing I could find that doesn't. We live out in the country, and I still kind of have neighbors kind of close, so I switched from an acoustic set to an electric set so I can not tick off everybody around me. And the beer fridge, of course, always got to have one of those, and the detail cart. So the rest of it you guys pretty much all see, but you know, just sharing that with you that shooting videos out here can be a trick sometimes, trying to find a place to put the tripod and the camera and the lights and get everything right and make sure that we catch everything. Did serial light on rear chop tour pack? Good call on drilling down in front. Yeah, so hey Scott, I don't usually detour from serial's directions ever, because they're usually spot on. There's only been 2 times that the directions from serial were just a little iffy, and that was one of them. I did not like it coming out the front like that. Just down and under the seat was the best for me. And if you're gonna drill a hole, you know, I would rather do that. So the only other, and I didn't really detour from the directions, but the only other time was that last install that I did for them on those big bright Canon lights. And I was reading the directions, which I normally don't even do, but it just said route the wires, and I was like, route them. Route them where, you know? So I had to, you know, figure out how to do it. So for me, it wasn't that big of a deal. I knew the neck was open and I could poke them through there. But for a lot of guys at home, and that's what we try to do here is, you know, on our channel, you guys, you're subscribed to my channel, you know, we're always trying to find the quickest, cheapest, best way to get things done, save everybody money. And so for me, that was important to make sure that I got that on that video, was where to route those wires, because just routing the wires just leaves open to a huge mess. Lose any power with the Bagger Brothers pipe? No. So that pipe actually, I mean, Didn't lose power with it at all. It already had a full stage 1 on it with a Power Vision tune on it already. So just anytime that you can go from a dual exhaust to a single, you are going to gain horsepower. But we'll go back to talking about what we were talking about a while ago with slip-ons. It's not the kind of horsepower or that you're going to feel. It's just not. Until you start getting into stage 2, stage 3, you're not going to feel this horsepower. And you see it, like I said, you see it advertised all the time. You know, just change this pipe to 10 horsepower. Well, so what? You're not going to feel 10 horsepower. Not in a seat, anyway. So, of course, I haven't had it on a dyno. Brian, my man, what's up, dude? Life on the Blacktop, guys. He's in the channel here. Brian, super cool dude. Him and his wife. If you haven't checked them out, I know I throw their channel out here every now and again, but definitely check out their channel. They're doing a van build right now. But wow, I'm gonna redo that. They're doing a van build right now, not a band build. Van build, that thing, which I'm a little jealous of because that's kind of cool. I'd like to just get in a van and travel all over the world. That'd be neat. But good kudos for you guys, man. I've been watching a few of their videos, trying to, I don't get much YouTube time, so it's hard for me to keep up. But definitely check them out. Life on the Blacktop. Got another drummer in the house. Cool, man. So yeah, I played in a lot of bands over the years. Kind of got out of it in the last, I'd say 9 years. When I'm 50, I just did a lot of bars, and I outgrew that scene, I think. So now I just jam at home, man. I got a couple of buddies that play, and they might come over and play, but other than that, I just put the headphones on and jam out now. But I still got to have my, I get frustrated with this, and I just go over there and beat the hell out of that, and then I feel better. So it's a good stress reliever for me. I don't have too many vices to take care of the stress. That's a good one, though. Vans are harder to mod than bikes. Yeah, I bet, man. I bet. Trying to scroll, make sure I didn't miss anything, but fixing to pull back tire on Softail first time. Yeah, so that's it. Todd, if you're still there, hopefully you still are, because I just saw your comment, man. Yeah, so doing the back wheel on Softail or a bagger is pretty easy. Save, like I said I think in the first video, just if you want to save some time and a little bit of money, if you need a new back tire put on there, take it off yourself if you can, and then take it up there, because you're not riding your bike up there and dropping it off and having to catch a ride home and then get a ride back up there to pick up your bike, all that goofy stuff. So, and they're going to charge you a little bit more to pull it. So if you can just walk in there, like we have a couple of bike shops around Southern Illinois that, and I'm not knocking Harley Davidson and changing tires and stuff like that, but these other like smaller bike shops are way cheaper at changing tires. So it's just easier for me to pull the wheel and take it over there and have them swap the tire. I don't do tires here. They're sometimes a pain in the ass, and I don't want the liability of screwing up rims. So just let them do it for $60 or whatever they charge. So yeah, so it was important for me to get that video, not only just to show the DNA wheels, but because I like the wheels, other than the one is still screwed up, and we're 2.5 months into that. Hopefully I'll be getting it this week, but it was important to me to show how to take them off and put it back on, and fix your belt and make sure your back wheel's straight and all that good stuff. So it's not too bad to do. Just can't you start second guessing yourself on it, but it's always good to check everything a couple of times. Electric ratchet, the M12. Yes. Yes, it is. And that thing is amazing. So I showed this a while ago. I'm sure it wasn't here a while ago, but the M12 ratchet, one of my favorite tools when it comes to working on bikes. And I've even bought a couple of the knockoff batteries on Amazon just to give them a try. And I keep them over there just for backups in case I'm in the middle of a big job and my 2 Milwaukees go dead. I still have a battery. They're not quite as powerful, but they do last. But the M12 this is 5 years old. So my wife got me this for Christmas like 5 years ago. And I've literally used it on every single bike that's been on this lifter in this shop. It's the first tool that I grab. I grabbed this, and then I went to Harbor Freight has these magnetic strips. So you have your stars and your Allens, and these are amazing. So, because these generally come on a piece of plastic or some crap, and I don't like the all metal ones that these things slide around super easy. They kind of stay where they're supposed to stay, and they're magnetic. So you may see them stuck to the table. You may see them stuck to my cabinets. Wherever I'm working, they're right there with me. So all of these, almost every bolt on your bike, outside of a few goofy bolts like a 10 millimeter, 12-point socket and stuff like that, almost everything on these bikes is right here. So I always have those. And those are like $12, I think, at Harbor Freight for those magnetic sticks. And I don't have to worry about, because they're magnetic, that thing will literally knock my leg before I knock it off in the floor and knock them sockets everywhere. So that's another reason why I wanted the magnetic ones. But the M12, definitely the absolute best tool that I own ever. So it saved me so much with my hands. Oh, Brian left. Sorry, man, if I missed you, bud. Big wheel bikes, 32s and 36s. I gotta quit sticking my hand in front of that. Big wheel bikes, 32s and 36s. Here's my thoughts on that. They look cool. They look cool. So, anybody that comes in here that wants to do a big wheel, this is what I tell them. If you ride your bike, ride your bike. And I'm not talking cross country, but I'm not talking about just bar hopping either. If you just ride your bike like any normal person would, don't go anything bigger than a 26. 26 to me is already kind of pushing it. If you want to build a bar hopper, and I know before anybody, because this is how things work, I already know. So I'll have somebody comment on this, or somebody in a group will say, well, my buddy's got one and he rode from Pennsylvania to California and back on his 32. Okay, great. So, and that person is going to tell you that it was the most comfortable ride, and okay, that was going back to justifying your purchase. I've rode them. They don't ride that great. You've got to put so many, there's hardly any suspension in the front end of those. You've got air ride on them, generally. Pump it all the way up, full of bump stops. You've got about this much movement in your front shocks. So you cannot sit there and tell me that that's a great ride. You're not going to do it. Like I said, I've rode them. So you see guys all the time that's never even rode one. And it's the same thing goes with the fat tire. I see that comment all the time. They're like, well, I heard that they ride like shit. Well, that's what you heard, but have you rode one? Because I'm here to tell you that that thing is amazing. That fat tire kit is insane. I love it. I would do fat tire on a street glide if I didn't have so much money invested in the wheels on that thing already. So, but you can see when I did the street glide, I only did a 21. 21 looks good. 23 looks good. 26, I'm starting to kind of push it. But I mean, if you're wanting a big wheel bagger, then do a big wheel bagger. I mean, that's just really on the wheel size. And that's just kind of how I feel about it. I'm not knocking them at all. They look amazing. I've been to a lot of baddest bagger shows, and I've seen some just straight sick bikes. But when I see them, I'm like, that's a trailer bike. You know, 90% of them are that are made for those shows. So, I mean, the guy that won the last show that we went to, the guy that took top overall bike, the bike didn't even have oil in it. It was pushed off of a trailer into the show and pushed back on a trailer. So, bike looked cool. It deserved a first place, but it's not a rideable bike. So, you ride your bike, 26 or less, and you'll be fine. Man, once again, guys, it's just my opinion. These are all just my personal opinions. I'm not knocking anybody's stuff or Legends suspension. Legends is a great suspension. They've been around for a long time. They build great suspensions. I've never personally put them on my bike. They're Legends is, let me try how to explain this or say this without, I don't want to bust on them any because they make a great suspension. It's just like buying a pair of Nikes or a pair of Pumas. A lot of the money that you're spending on Legends is because of the name, if that makes any sense. There's good quality shocks out there that ride just as good as Legends that don't cost as much. I mean, they're still up there, but Legends is like putting himself on this shelf of top tier, suspension. So, I mean, it is what it is. You can't be mad at them. I mean, they're flying off the shelf, so good for Legends. Great shocks from what I can tell. I personally, in my opinion, I think they're a little pricey. So, but I run air ride on mine, the dirty air, you guys know. That's another thing too, is I have to do a front air ride on one of these bikes. I just haven't had time. When we built the Road Glide for Daytona 2 years ago, I ran out of time to do air ride on the front end, and it's just, that stuff's been pushed to the back burner, but we'll have video on that soon. That's not hard to do. So we'll have that out pretty soon. But Legends, yeah, I mean, to answer your question, yeah. Good exhaust, excuse me. Yeah, the 21 on the bikes is a perfect. You don't have to do anything. Anything bigger than 21, you got to start raking. I even had a customer call, and this kind of blew my mind because I haven't seen it done yet. But I had a customer call, said him and his brother both ride 23s on stock front ends, no rake, which I don't know how they're getting away with that, but I'd like to see it. Yeah, so Scott, yeah, Legends, I mean, I'm gonna tell you what, so I've never done a video on the 5 things or 10 things, you see them all over YouTube, the 5 things that suck about my Harley, those videos. I really want to do one, but I think I'm a little bit too far into the YouTube game to do those videos, but I may some week. But top 5, the number one thing that sucks about these bikes when they're stock is the suspension, and number 2 is handlebars. They're sitting in your lap. You hate those. So suspension definitely number 1. First thing I changed on both bikes. Very first thing. First wrench went on that bike, went right on the shocks. So, yeah, so any aftermarket exhaust is better than what you get from Harley. And even when they did that goofy big crank knob thing on your rebound knob, oh my God. So the air ride that was what they called air over oil on like the 14s, I think maybe some of the earlier models had where you had a little air fitting like right there, and you had to buy a $40 Harley Davidson pump. Remember that deal? Came on that 14. garbage. So those things just, they were just so bad. And then they came out with the big rebound knob, which is not any better. You can never get them right. Hey, Scott. Oh, so I saw your comment a while ago about going to the bench, and I was like, man, what? Huh? Yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate it. Never know. I try to stay out of trouble, but you know how it goes. Thanks for stopping by, Scott. I appreciate it, man. Let me scroll back and make sure I didn't miss any. We did Legends. Okay. We talked about Legends. Wondering if the HD fairing lower fitted glove box liner kit will fit in the Advanblack Rushmore. So I don't know. I'd have to check because I've never put one in there personally myself. So I would definitely just jump over to the Advanblack review group on Facebook if you have Facebook and ask there, because you won't be the first person that's tried to put them in there. I've just never personally did it. And if you were to call the Advanblack phone number and talk to me and ask me that question, I'd tell you the same thing. I don't like telling people yes or no unless I've actually done it myself, and I really don't know. I would assume that they do because it's pretty much the same thing, but I don't want to tell you yes and then they don't fit. I missed one. Let's see. Top 5 speakers. Ooh, so PRVs, middle ground, not high budget like Hertz, PRVs, ground zeros. I don't really know if I have a top 5. I mean, those are kind of the two that I install the most. Used to do the DS18s. I've kind of steered away from them here in the last 2 years. Back when we installed DS18s on this guy's bike, these were the original ones from like 4 years ago. And the only thing that really happened to these, now this bike takes some abuse too. This thing gets left out in the weather. It's never in a garage unless it's here. And these things still work after 4 years of rain, and I mean the cones faded pretty quick, but the newer ones, they're not lasting as long, so I've just steered away from those. But I don't really know if I have a top 5, because speakers is another one of those things. It's a budget thing. So when somebody calls here and wants to know what I can do to their bike, well, I mean that really depends on your budget. I can go with a $50 speaker. I can go with a $500 speaker. So I mean that's a hard answer or a question to answer. I mean, Hertz are definitely up there. They're a good speaker. Ground Zero, they're pricey. The Ground Zeros or the PRVs are my 2 favorite to do on the touring models. FP3 and just got a 4.5-inch Road Shark. There's also no baffles. Okay, so Joe, you got the 4.5-inch Road Shark exhaust, no baffles. So are you just talking the slip-ons or the headers? I guess I need to know that before I can answer that. The Batwing I put on a trike. Yeah, that thing was actually really cool. So that guy called me. So the Freewheelers are basically a Road King front end, 2 wheels in the back. So he wanted to do a fairing on it. He actually did all the research, found Vector fairings, ordered it, paid full price for it, called me and asked me if I could put it on. And I, absolutely, bring it over, we'll put it on. And that ended up being a really cool, that was an easy install. Just a whole fairing with audio, just mounts right to your windshield, like your quick detached windshield stuff. So that was a super, I had fun working on that Freewheeler anyway, just because I've never got to mess with one. So Joe, let me know on that Joe Army, let me know on that, on the exhaust question. Are you just changing the slip-ons, or if you're doing slip-ons and the headers? Oh, slip-ons, you just said, I'm sorry, probably got a little bit of delay. So the slip-ons, like, we'll go back to what we were talking about earlier about slip-ons. Slip-ons don't matter. So if you're looking up, say we use a Power Vision, and I go on to Power Vision's website and I start looking at tunes, and they're going to have some pre-made tunes for the more popular exhaust, and of course you're having trouble finding that. It's not a very big name brand exhaust. But when you're doing slip-ons, it's not going to change a whole lot when it comes to your tune. What is going to change, so the pre-made tunes are kind of generic on just about anybody's tuner. So you've got open air cleaner, so that this is a full stage one, open air cleaner, and then you've changed the headers, which no catalytic converter, open, so more air in, more air through, slip on, more air out, right? So you got full, the more air you can give it, the more air can go out, the more power, right? So then you got to start messing with the fuel and all that stuff. So when you change, if you look at I'm trying to remember, like on the Power Vision, if you look at them, it'll say, it's more specific on the header. So it'll just say open air cleaner, open slip-ons. But then it might say like Vance and Hines, touring headers or whoever, whatever headers you're using. So I wouldn't put a whole lot of thought into the slip-on. And if you've got the FP3, you can definitely call them. Those guys are super cool. I don't mess with the FP3 a lot because it's you just put the tune on it, put it on your bike, you're kind of done. The Power Vision is way more detailed, but the reason why I use Power Vision is because I can buy more license for that Power Vision, because we have 4 bikes and I only have to own 1 tuner. I can just buy 4. I can buy the tuner, which comes with a license, and then 3 more licenses at $200 versus $450 for a new tuner. So I can use my same one for all the bikes. So that's another reason I use Power Vision, and it's a little bit more detailed. But when you look at those tunes, it's for a basic stage one, it's very generic. And so I wouldn't put a lot of thought into the slip-ons. Just look for your header if you have an open air cleaner, and it'll just kind of say, just pick a different header that doesn't have baffles in it and just use that one, and more than likely it's going to work. If not, like I said, call those guys over there. They're, like I said, they're super cool. Anytime I've ever had a question for them, they always walk me right through it. Sony 7000, Adam, we have on the Road Glide, and at the time, I don't know what they're going for right now, or if you can even still get them. I looked a couple of months ago and it looked like they were having trouble even getting them. It's an okay radio. I've got the original Sony 100 on the Street Glide, and that's actually a better radio than the Sony 7000 in my opinion. When we did the Road Glide, I did the Sony 7000, and they were preaching this anti-glare screen, which is a big deal on a Road Glide. If you've never rode a Road Glide, on a Street Glide, the radio's like this, and on a Road Glide, the radio's like this. So when the sun's hitting it, you can't see anything. So they're touting this anti-glare screen, this waterproof crap, and then come to find out, you get it, and you open the book, and it says, do not get wet. Well, it's not waterproof. It has waterproof buttons, but you can't get anything else wet. So that, to me, was just crap. That was gimmick. It's a good radio. I mean, I think it's a little pricey for what you're getting, and the anti-glare screen sucks. I still have to stand up at a stoplight and look down at the radio just to see it. So, Rabbit Cycles in St. Louis is supposed to, we're working out some kind of deal with that guy to do one of the new sound digital radios. So we'll see how that goes. PNW Living, we appreciate it, man. So this is our very first in 5 years, our very first where I just set up my phone and was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna do a live stream today. What's up, Sean? Just trying to make sure that we don't miss any questions. I try to like get everybody's questions answered. That's another big thing too in the morning. Like I get some guys kind of understand how running a YouTube channel works, and a lot of people don't. But it's really like a second job. We try to do a video every Monday, which requires me to find a part, get it put on, shoot the video, edit it, all that good stuff, get it on YouTube, and then follow up with, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff to promote it. But then every morning, like I get up at 4, and between 4 and 7, I set up the computer and do all my computer stuff. So I do that every single day. So between 4 and 7, that's when I'm answering YouTube comments or emails. We do get a lot of emails from the YouTube channel. You can go over somewhere on our channel and see our email somewhere. But I get a lot of emails that I try to address and try to help people. So it takes a lot of time. It's very time consuming. You really have to want to do it. I'll put it that way. We don't make a whole bunch of money off of that, and we watch a couple of other YouTube channels where it's generally just a guy talking. He's not ever installing everything. He didn't purchase anything. He didn't get anything. It's just him talking. And I'm not gonna throw channels out there, but those channels where that guy's just standing there talking just like this, he's out no money. He's just standing there talking, and you're watching it, and the little Google or YouTube ads play. That's how we get paid. So if you guys, when the video starts and you click on skip ad, the advertiser doesn't pay and we don't get paid, and it's really pennies on the dollar. It's for like every, man, I don't even know what it is. For like every 1,000 ads that you watch that you don't skip, it's pennies to us. So we have to try to make our channel work. That's why we try so hard to get sponsors. When I first started this channel, of course, when you're starting a channel, you don't have any sponsors. Nobody wants to give you anything because they don't know what you're going to do with it. So as your channel grows, we're up to like 61,000 subscribers now. So it's getting a little easier. Not everyone wants to work with you. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't like asking for anything. So it's kind of a double-edged sword for me. But I get to the point sometimes too where I'm like, wow, I didn't really make much on YouTube this month, but I still have to go out here and buy a $600 part and then put it on the bike. And that's 1 week. We get paid once a month on YouTube. So it makes it hard sometimes to get parts and shoot videos. And that's why you see a lot of other customers' bikes in here, like they've already bought the part. And because the rest of that stuff's out of my pocket. So if you're ever wondering how, when I say like in my videos, like, everybody says it and there's a reason, that, hey, please hit that like and subscribe. If you come back and watch our videos and that ad comes up, now, I'll tell you this much. If there's a 3-minute ad that pops up, I'm sorry, Jack, I'm skipping it. And if you want to do the same thing, skip that thing. I ain't watching a 3-minute ad. If it's a 30-second ad and it's somebody that I like watching, like I like their channel, want to support their channel, all you have to do is not click skip ad, and you just supported their channel. They just made a little bit, like tiny dinky bit of money, but that adds up, over time. So if you ever want to support a channel, just don't skip that ad. Unless it's a 3-minute ad, skip the hell out of that thing. I wouldn't watch it either. I don't have patience for that. Let me go back here and the beer. What's up, man? There's a couple. Good to see you, brother. He knows what I'm talking about. Baggers and Brews. If you haven't seen their channel, check them out, man. We're just doing this impromptu. Set up my camera and turned it on, man. First time I ever did this, so we were kind of just discussing about how we get paid and how much some of this stuff costs to do. So, Robert, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming by too. I want to make sure, I'm going to go back here and make sure, because I did a little kind of stupid ramble about getting paid, and I want to make sure that I get everybody's questions answered. Well, I appreciate it, Racing Ray, man. I appreciate the support too, man. Yeah, we don't do very many lives, so Adam wants to know if you can run the mid-heat shields and the stretch tank covers. So it's talking about the mid-heat shields here, and then the Advanblack stretch tank cover, and you can, yes, but there's an order that you need to put them on. If you already have the heat shields on, take them off, put your tank cover on, and then put your heat shields back on. My personal opinion, I don't like it because you've got this round teardrop pointy tank that goes into this square kind of heat shield thing. Once again, my opinion, if you want, and I just saw one this morning on the Advanblack review group that had both, and I was like, that's cool. I wouldn't do it. I just don't like the way they flow together, that's all. But they're both great products. But yes, you can. You just have to a certain order that you have to do it in. Yeah, if you guys, like I said, Baggers and Brews, look those guys up. Wish we could have hooked up. We missed each other by like a couple of days, I think, down in Daytona when we went this year. They were there at the Advanblack tent just a couple of days before we got there. We couldn't do the whole rally, and they couldn't do the whole rally. So really wish I could have met those guys. We'll meet someday. By the way, we are going to Sturgis this year. We've been planning that for the last couple of weeks, so we will be at Sturgis. And we got something, the Advanblack team's got something very cool going on at Sturgis if you can make it. So it's going to take a lot of work to get this done, but it's going to be kind of like a live event. Professional Monkey Tim, so he'll be there, me, and then Eddie Bird. He's one of our Advanblack dealers, so if you're on Facebook, you probably know Eddie. He's one of the Advanblack dealers, so we're all going to be there. Eddie's doing the rally in Sturgis for us this year, but we're going to be there, and like I said, Monkey will be there, and we're going to be doing a live event Monkey will be there one day for the live event, but I'll be there for 2 days, so I'll be there for 4 or 5 days, but the live event will be 2 days. Best detailing products for swirl marks and everyday care. So, swirl marks. So we can talk about this thing right here, because this bike, like I have buffed this bike so many times. This vivid black, we all know. You walk past this bike and fart, you're going to scratch the paint, right? So that's just how black works. And a lot of the darker colors are like that, but black especially, and there's a lot of them. So I've already went through and clayed this bike. As soon as I got it in, I cleaned it and clayed it. The only thing I have left to do is the motor, and then we're going to repolish this bike again. Swirl marks, I guess I have to ask how you're getting the swirl marks. Because like the products that I use on these bikes, I just don't get swirl marks. So I don't really know how to address the swirl mark issue other than change the product that you're using, maybe. As far as everyday cleaning, and I covered that kind of in my paint correction 101 video. That depends again on your budget and how much you're doing it. I know consumer-based products at Walmart, okay? Adams, Chemical Brothers, the one, like if you're just dead set on getting your cleaning supplies from an auto store or Walmart, the only one that has truly been consistent and hasn't watered down their product when they sold out to Walmart or these O'Reilly's and AutoZone has been Meguiar's. They're the only ones, and actually Meguiar's still makes a professional grade level detailing stuff, but they still do make a consumer product. Of course, we see it at Walmart all the time. Those are Meguiar's is a safe bet, and all that other stuff at Walmart is watered down trash, every bit of it. I don't care, and I know I'm going to catch heat for that, and that's fine. But I literally have a cabinet over there with every single one of those products, because every time I see something new come out, I will go buy it, I'll come home and I'll test it. Because if somebody calls me and asks me, I'm in the business of selling painted products to people. So I need to know, it benefits me to know what works best on paint, right? Detailing products. So I test as much as I can. And I can pretty much tell you what's good and what's garbage. And the only thing that's been consistently good for the last 10 years has been Meguiar's. If you use something else and you have great results with it, keep using it. I'm not telling you to change your products, but you know, he asked what I think is the best. Outside of that, like, I'm working with a new company right now, and the products actually got shipped yesterday, and I'll have a video on that. We've been researching this company for probably close to a year, because it's one of the things that I don't touch on any of my detailing videos, and I want to, but I want to be able to present it to you where I need a very user-friendly product. I don't need something where you got to take a 10-hour online course to be able to put something on your bike. I need a very user-friendly product, and that's affordable, and that's going to last. And I think I found it. I don't want to give away any details just yet, because the products just now got shipped to me. I purchased them, I think, Monday. And but we're going to do a whole video series on that, and it will be a series because it's several products. Now I used to use Killer Wax stuff, and I still do. I don't have anything against Killer Wax. My Killer Wax guy here in Illinois sold out, so I was kind of stuck on. I was having to get it straight from California, and Art makes a good product. Don't get me wrong. I love his stuff, everything that he does. I'm just trying to get options out there. I don't want to just be stuck on Killer Wax. You know, we used Killer Wax for 2 or 3 years. Have nothing. I still have it on my car. I still use it. Where's it at? This stuff right here. Look how old this bottle is. So this janky, old ass bottle of H2O. This is a waterless wash. This is one of my favorite products from Killer Wax. Our bikes, with the audio that we have on them, we don't get them wet. We don't hose them down. So right here, waterless wash, one of the best products that Killer Wax uses. And this stuff is thick. It's not these water. I think I've got a waterless wash over there. Let me look. Hang on. Okay, yeah. So just to reiterate what I was talking about, Chemical Brothers, right? Or Chemical Guys, whatever the hell this stuff is. Watered down. I mean, this stuff, I don't know if you can see that. It's just, it's water. It's all you're buying is water. This stuff, hopefully I can get that in there. You can see how much thicker that is. That is a waterless wash. That stuff is thick. This, Walmart, watered down garbage. In a pinch, better than nothing. What I tell everybody about these bikes, do not ever dry wipe your bike, ever. Don't get a brand new towel out of your saddlebag and, oh, I got some dust on here. Man, you're scratching your clear coat. You are. You may not know it, but you are. You're sanding your clear coat. One of the worst things you can do, and like I said, I've already clayed this bike and as clean as it's going to get. You walk up to your bike and go, man, my bike's dirty. And you just scratch the hell out of your clear coat. So if you can use anything, get it wet. Get your towel wet. Nasties. Spray the stuff on the towel. Wipe it down. Don't ever dry wipe ever. You're scratching the clear, and black especially. Ever dry wipe. But that's my take on products. And like I said, we'll have a pretty cool video coming out. Scroll back, make sure I didn't miss anything. Um, yeah, I'll have to do these lives maybe a little bit more often. I don't know what I was doing today. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to work on this bike and do a live. Yeah, hopefully we get to see you, man, down there. Arkansas rally. Yeah, dude, so Ken, that is definitely one rally that I want to get to. And I'm assuming that the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue rally, yeah, so that's definitely never been to it. And I want to go. It's not even that far away. I end up going to these ones that are 17 freaking hours away. And then I'm just exhausted for 2 weeks when I get home. It's because I'm fat and old. Hey, Route 22. Hey, thanks for the donation, man. That is awesome. Dude, man, thank you very much. Bike had swirl marks already when I bought it, so looking for a good compound. Okay, so real quick, compounds. This, this stuff right here, the last cut, compounding glaze. So one thing you have to know when it says glaze on it is a glaze has filler properties in it. So if you're using this, say, to buff clear coat scratches out of this black, the compound itself will actually take the swirl marks right off. If you're using it, you're kind of taking a very thin layer of the clear coat off to remove the scratches, but it also has, any glaze has what's called fillers in it, so it's actually kind of filling it too. So over time, and that's going to be up to you or whoever's using it, over time and how you take care of the bike will determine how long that lasts. So just like with any wax, people will say, well, how long does that wax last? Well, that really depends on you. So, of course, some waxes are better than others, don't get me wrong. But any wax, the longevity of the wax is going to depend on how you take care of it. If you are using Dawn dish soap to wash your bike, you're not going to have any wax. Dawn is, or any dishwashing liquid is going to strip the wax off your bike. It's designed to cut fats, right? So any oils or anything that you have that you're putting on your bike to protect the paint, you're stripping it off. So the pH balanced car wash soap, it's a car wash soap. A lot of people think car wash soap is a gimmick, and it's not. It's pH balanced. It's not going to strip those waxes off of your bike. So of course it will a little bit. It's wax. I mean, you know, over time, rainwater itself will get rid of your wax. So, but dishwashing liquid, if you want to strip the wax off your bike and start over with a fresh coat, perfect way to do it. Use dishwashing liquid. To take care of it though, just use a pH balanced soap. Any of them, like Walmart has 100 of them. We use the McGuire's Gold. That's what we use on all the cars, the bikes. If I ever have to actually get one wet and use soap outside of a waterless wash, that's what I use. So, like I said, the compounding glaze, the last cut, is made by Jace Price. He's a big famous detailer. But this is a two-step compound, is the reason why I use this. So the compound itself is working, getting rid of the scratches, swirl marks, water marks, anything that stains your paint. And then as it's a diminishing compound is what it's called. So as you're working the product with your buffer, it's actually breaking down. And when that breaks down, it breaks down into a polish. So before you had to compound, right? We had to go in here, we had to remove all the scratches, we had to wipe that down, and then we had to go back and we had to buff it, right? With a polish to get that shine back. So that's what this does in one step. I think this was like $32 for this big thing on the Rag Company website. That's where I found it, and that's where I order a lot of rags from them, detailing cloths. So the Creature Edgeless towels, those 3 cabinets up there just completely stacked full of towels. But the last cut, and I use, trying to think of the name of the company, mounting something for the pads. Let me grab one. Lake Country. So these came from the Rag Company too, but they're the Lake Country. And you can actually buy the Lake Country pads on Amazon as well. You don't have to buy them from the Rag Company, but usually I'm ordering enough stuff from them that I'll get like free shipping or something on it. So if it's a heavy scratches, start with the blue pad in that rubbing compound, and then you know, switch to either the orange or the black for the final, and go over it again. Now just remember that took off any wax that you did have on your bike, maybe, if you had any on it. So you have to go back with a isopropyl spray, which is just alcohol and water mixed, and you can buy Prep All and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, it's alcohol and water mixed. Spray it down and gets rid of all the oils that are left over from any compound that you use, whether you use this one or another brand. You got to go back in there and strip those oils off. If not, you're just waxing the oil. You're not penetrating the clear with your wax. So wipe that stuff off, put you a good coat of wax on it, and you're done. But just make sure that you actually wipe in between the polish and the wax. That's the most important thing. Great stuff. Yeah, Great's got some decent stuff. They got some decent commercial stuff. Racing Rav 42. So, hey man, I hope you're still here. I appreciate the donation, man. That is awesome. You guys are awesome. I didn't even do this for that, but I certainly appreciate the hell out of it. (2015) RGS and recently changed the gauges. Now I have a VIN ERR code. The gauges are from the 17. No, I mean that. Hey, Bill, that may be something that, yeah, if it's getting a VIN, an ERR code, that seems like that's something they're probably going to have to put on their Harley Davidson little magic box and straighten out for you. I don't think that's going to be anything that you can fix at home, unfortunately. I don't know, from a 15 to a 17, that doesn't make sense. I don't think there should be, well, yeah, it might be, because that CAN bus harness for all that stuff. So 15, there was no 14 Road Glide, so 15 and 16 were the 103s, and then the 17s, the Milwaukee 8s came out. So maybe it has something to do with that. Hey Randall, thanks for joining us, man. Scott, how's it going, buddy? Hey, once again, Ray, I appreciate the hell out of that, man. That's awesome. Every single little bit helps, and that's amazing. That goes a long way. And I don't even know how to tell you guys I appreciate that. That's what it's all about, man. It's helping you guys out. You know, we don't have that many. This was an impromptu live stream. I didn't even know I was going to do it when I got up this morning. So very cool that you guys showed up. And I would imagine most people are probably at work. Some of you may be at work, actually, doing this, watching the old live stream. So, but we've been on here for an hour and 40. So I'm probably going to cut it because I've got, what time is it? I don't even know what time it is. It's probably after 9 here. But I've got to get to work on this. I've got a lot of stuff to do on this. And like I said, I don't even know if I'm going to have a video again this Sunday just because I've been so freaking swamped with everything. I do have another serial video, but it's kind of a video I've already done for them. It's just a different version of one of the parts that they already sell. So I did shoot the video, but I just don't know if I'm going to upload it yet. Maybe that'll be our Sunday video. after that, we're gonna get back to work on that soft tail and get that thing finished. So that's turned into a nightmare at this point. So once we get the back wheel back on it and I start feeling a little bit better about it, then I'll move on to the rest of the stuff. But like I said, look forward to the Sturgis rally if any of you guys can make it. Like I said, we're gonna do, like I said, Pro Monkey will be there, I'll be there, Eddie will be there, so we'll do some stuff out there. And also for the some detailing videos that are be coming out, the products we just talked about, they're gonna be, I think they're gonna hit the mark. I'm pretty sure of it. Like I said, I studied this company for a long time before I even reached out to them, so I think they're gonna be just fine. So look for a video on that. But other than that, man, I'm gonna jump out of here and let you guys get back to what you do. So I hope to see you in the forums or maybe on here next time. I appreciate everybody coming by. I'll make sure I didn't miss any questions for all the, oh, okay. All right, man. Yeah, you too, man. Thanks again, Ray. Appreciate it, buddy. So we got to do the whole ending. I'm going to get out of here and get myself back to work, but until the next video, as always, be safe. Keep your knees in the breeze.